In politics, you're either on message or you are losing. Let's get to it. Welcome to On Message, a weekly look at where the battle lines are drawn and who is winning the war of words. This week, beyond the headlines. Even as the vast majority of our written media has moved from printed newspapers to the internet, the basic format has remained essentially the same. There's a headline designed to grab your attention and get you to click, though some of us are old enough to recall headlines were originally designed to get you to buy the newspaper off the newsstands or from those vending boxes on the street. And then there's the main copy. Most news websites still use an inverted pyramid style, where the most important information is at the top of the story so you can increase the odds of reading what matters, even if you bail on the article without reading the entire thing. But in a day when attention spans have shrunk to 280-character tweets and TikToks have made YouTube videos seem somehow interminably long, do news websites have a responsibility to ensure the headlines don't lead readers to assume something that may or may not be the full story? In one of our first episodes, I made the case the headlines needed to change what they were reporting related to the COVID pandemic. Back then, it was because they'd been reporting cases and deaths. Once the vaccine was more widely available, it became an important part of the story to show how many shots were in arms as well. Now, as we've learned, a pandemic is not a stagnant thing, and the coverage has to be equally dynamic. Today, with the Delta variant commanding headlines, it's time to change what's in the headlines again. Simply including the number of cases and the number of deaths doesn't tell the real story because we're not all essentially in the same boat anymore. There are the vaccinated and there are the unvaccinated. Total case count is fine, but it's more helpful to have a breakdown of vaxxed versus unvaxxed. That's even more the case when it comes to hospitalizations and deaths. If there's a bit of activism here, it should be to make it clear that choosing to decline the vaccination puts you at a much greater risk. One of the most prominent debates at the moment is whether to require masks in schools for kids too young to be eligible for the vaccine. Clear numbers on this one are really difficult to find. Now, KSL and the Salt Lake Tribune have started reporting the number of school children who test positive for COVID, though breaking the groups into 5 to 10-year-olds and 11 to 13-year-olds is terribly unhelpful since 11-year-olds can't be vaccinated, but 12 and 13-year-olds can. I imagine the data comes from the health department, but maybe we could all work together to temporarily change the way we break that down, since what we care about at the moment, at least what we want to track, are those kids 12 and under. Also, cases don't provide all the info parents want when trying to decide if they should send their kids to school in a mask or not. The number of hospitalizations and deaths for that group also seems like really important information in making that decision. Now, we all need to be savvy consumers of media, and that means looking beyond the headlines, or at least understanding that all the information that matters may not fit into those, say, 10 words. In a time when some people are looking for any reason to dismiss the media as fake news, getting this information right and presenting it in a way that helps people understand it and, more importantly, helps them make informed decisions is crucial. That's it for this week. More On Message in the next issue of the Utah Political Underground. Make sure to visit the site and sign up for our weekly email update. You can find more On Message videos, in-depth Utah political stories and analysis, plus podcasts and political cartoons, and so much more at utahpoliticalunderground.com.